We're going to inquire on how technology can actually support us and allow us to get new paths, new ways. So actually we're going to close the loop a little bit and get back to the beginning of the day, thinking of what Grace was saying, and to inquire into these new ways of redistribution. We know that today is redistribute economy, right? So we'll have redistribute new models and tools for audiovisual distribution in a second. It will be with it's my co-host at the Cannes Next and the European Film Forum, Sten-Kristian Saluveer, an innovation strategist, content technology expert, founder of Storytek. Storytek is a vertical-focused early-stage media tech accelerator and innovation hub. And Sten heads actually the innovation track next at the Marche du Film at the Festival de Cannes. So he will be the perfect moderator for you to explore these new ways and check how technology is bringing something into this reflection with FilmChain, Cinemarket, and FilmDoo. And they integrate blockchain, AI, and even more innovation to, redistribute even more than money, as we will see. As for me, as it is the last session of the day, I will say goodbye for today, but I will see certainly you tomorrow, because tomorrow will be about another kind of distribution or redistribution of power, but also about empowerment, as we will talk about representation. It is very important, so please do not miss it tomorrow. We have an excellent program with fantastic experts again, and I hope you will be there with us. And for me, it's goodbye, but I will see you, and I hope in the chat to my left, I believe, I hope they will say the actual address of Spatial Chat, where we will reconnect after the next session, which I leave to Sten Saluveer and FilmChain, FilmDoo, and Cinemarket. Goodbye, enjoy the conversation about the future.
Good evening, and welcome to the last session of today's great conference on C-Page Talks. As AC had in her long introduction, my name is Sten Saluveer, and it's a pleasure to be back at Copenhagen, where I was one of the curators of the conference last year. Our subject today actually is to talk about some new ways, or I would even say existing ways, how films can be distributed. And look, today we heard about financing and distribution through foundations. There were talks about VOD versus cinema releases. We talked about the role of public broadcasters and so forth. But it seems to me that actually to that already existing structure, there's quite exciting work going on in European so-called film tech sector, where there are already viable companies that help producers better reach their audiences, perhaps in ways that are not so traditional in the sense of a value chain. And since our greatest enemy today is time, of course, we have to jump straight into the business. And I would actually like to start actually from Anne-Sophie, right? Cinemarket. Cinemarket is quite a newcomer to the European, I would say, B2B platforms game when we think about, buying and selling films. And there's already a lot of incumbents in there. One in a company where I do work as well. But you have actually carved quite an original niche out there. Cinemarket started as a blockchain company, but I understand that now when you are in a pilot, thanks to the help of Creative Europe, you've actually started to target quite an interesting area. So what that is?
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Cinemarket is a B2B online film market available 24/7 everywhere in the world. Our aim is to help filmmakers, producers, rights owners to sell their content to buyers all around the world. By buyers, I mean festivals, broadcasters, OTT platform. We support onboarding, contracting, and we also do matchmaking between sellers and buyers. So in a way, you could say we are a sales agent because of course we want the best for your films. We make a strategy based on your need and the wants of your film. We provide contracting tool and we also bring royalty support and tracking these royalties for you. But we are not like a sales agent because you keep 100% of your rights. You decide or not to make the deal. You can quit or join us anytime in the journey of your movie. You're responsible for your decision as well as for your material. And we only charge 10% of service fee only once a deal is made. Before that, our service is completely free for you. We also welcome all genre, all lengths, and we believe there is no film too old to be sold. We are fully transparent.
Cool. So I'm just kind of like wondering, how does this type of a very generous, if I may say, or even a radically generous model fit into the sort of classical sales agent world where you have like everything or nothing game? And you used to work as a sales agent before, right?
Exactly. I was a sales agent. I started with Celluloid Dreams. I also work in Asia. I was an Asian sales agent. And I believe one of the problems being a sales agent was being the middleman, the person who always had to bring back some information and some revenues to the producers, and it's perfectly normal. But they were also adopting the information that we were giving them. The other problem was that our clients were also the people we were selling the films to, and they were paying us for the work we were doing, the broadcasters, the distributors, but we were also obliged to ask for feedback from them, and we could not always verify all of that. So that's what was interesting for me in Cinemarket, and that's why I joined 3 years ago, just before we launched, because I believe with the new technologies that are at stake now, we can bring transparency, and we can also bring the support and also the tools that the filmmakers and the producers need to do things themselves without giving the rights and without giving the property and the money to somebody else.
Okay, super. Thank you. I've just been told that our very short panel has been cut even more shorter, so we have to pack everything into about 10 minutes. Weerada, I want to actually go straight into the model of FilmDoo, and you're actually operating in a very exciting area, which is education and educational VODs. So could you give us a little bit of a head-ups of the opportunities in this educational market, and how do you operate for the filmmakers?
Yeah, of course, it's interesting. I mean, we started off as a platform to help people discover what we call international or foreign language films, like French, Spanish, Chinese, etc. So consequently, we actually now have one of the world's biggest international film catalog, but actually also now including English language films, American indie, US indie. But we got into online education because we saw in 2019 that actually over 80% of our traffic was coming from language-related searches. So, I'm studying French, where can I watch French films, etc. So we looked more into this space, and we were really excited because actually there's an opportunity to help language learners work with language schools by working with film, turning these films into interactive lesson, providing films for educational content. So we also are a Creative Europe Media funded project. We applied for the grant in early 2020. We were successful, and that allowed us to launch our new platform, FilmDoo Academy, where effectively it's a closed subscription at the moment anyway. So effectively we're providing a catalog of curated films by language level to language schools or independent language teachers that they could obviously show with their students, but which they can have the tool to turn any film and video into an interactive lesson as well. So it's effectively a subscription model working with the educational institutions at the moment. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to be very short and very concise. So what is the kind of the revenue model for the documentary filmmakers? I think we heard today that everybody's kind of money is at the stake and nothing doesn't flow back to the producer. So how you're approaching this?
We operate on revenue share, but we're also non-exclusive. On the other hand, a lot of our films are 3 years and older, short films, films from film schools. So actually, it's providing them opportunity that otherwise these films would not be monetized anyway. So it was that gap in the market where rather than just leave these films, why not create a new market, a new audience, and potentially a much more lucrative market by working with major language schools. For example, we're now working with a lot of the big language schools in Asia. Yes.
Super, thank you so much, Maria. FilmChain, quite a well-known company in the comma space, so the collective account management that helps already producers whilst they are producing the films. Well, you have quite an interesting offering here at CPH Talks for the producers, right? Who want to use digital tools to help the productions better. Could you talk us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. It's a pleasure, everyone. Thank you, Stan, for the introduction. We are indeed the new digital CAM, so the new digital collection agent. We streamline payments in film TV, and our big vision is to do it from viewers to filmmakers. At the moment, we are addressing the huge pain points that film and TV stakeholders, the producers, financiers, sales agents, the talent directors, they don't know how much they are owed and when they will be paid. These payments are generally delayed for years, and sometimes they never reach the right owner, exactly how the hot topics of today. Essentially, what we have built is a system that is automatic, that offers instant access to money and data in a way that all of the producers and financiers and sales agents can verify every single incoming gross receipt. They withdraw as little as 35 euros if necessary, or as much as 200,000 euros. And essentially what we want to offer to the stakeholders is a transparent and auditable system where they verify all of the payments coming in. We are absolutely kind of humbled by the amazing films and how they have pushed through such a tough year in the pandemic, and how John Sloth has put it is the golden age of documentaries. So essentially what we have decided here at FilmChain to do is we have decided to waive our setup fee. Normally our setup fee is £3,000, and for documentaries that meet certain criteria, we are completely waiving it off throughout the entire year, so until December 2021. We're addressing stories that are contemporary, and we're looking at topics such as social, economical, political justice, freedom, environmental crisis, sustainability, human rights, and grassroots activism. This is our way to support the filmmakers that are making impactful documentaries in 2021 with scarce access to funding and at the same time a huge appetite for their films.
Fantastic. Well, I think you have quite a big success case. Oscars were just a few days ago. The Collective, which is a Romanian film, if I believe, right, nominated in several categories, and you were quite fortunate to work on that. So you have a few minutes to tell us about the case study, please.
Absolutely. That's again another great example of how documentaries change the world. Indeed, Collective is a fantastic documentary in Romania. So it addressed a social and political corruption happening at a national level. And that documentary not only has won the best documentary at European Film Awards this year, it has won numerous awards around the world, but it has been nominated for the best documentary feature at Academy Awards. More to that, it was nominated for Best International Feature, which is actually the second time in history that a documentary is in that section as well. That section used to be the foreign international film because it's not in the English language, and that shows how much documentaries can change the world and can be perceived not as just a documentary, but significantly a film that reaches tens of millions of people. We have been very fortunate to support it right from the beginning. They have fantastic sales agents attached, the Cinephile and the duo producer director are absolutely fantastic. They have been supported by Samsa Film as well, and HBO Europe. And what we are seeing is, as I said, a great appetite from broadcasters, from theatrical releases, still from digital platforms, some of the best distributors that they could get all over the world, even if it is, so to say, a Romanian case study of social political injustice. And that's what we do see, like, still potential for documentaries to travel far and wide.
Super. Thank you so much, Maria. The technical team is indicating for me that once again the time is getting very short, but I think today is in a very, very short and snappy conversation. We actually understand that this model of the classical model, right, which is very sales agent centric or public broadcaster centric, doesn't really actually go against the kind of the new model or the new platforms and tools what your companies are already offering to the industry. As a very short closing remark, how can the producers who would like to try out your platforms, how can they get in touch and what they need to do? Anne-Sophie, I start with you.
Well, that's super easy. They can just go to cinemarket.io and create an account. It takes a few clicks and it's free.
Fantastic. Weerada.
I have a short video about how they can get in touch. I'm wondering if we have time to show it. I think the technical team initially said that.
Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have time for that.
Yeah, so basically just go to FilmDoo.com. It's submit a film. Once you submit your film, you have the option to say, you'd love to work with us. We can also supply films to other platforms, and obviously such as, Amazon, Huawei. We work with many Asian telcos, but also, of course, for our new and exciting language learning platform as well.
Super, thank you so much. Maria?
We are at FilmChain.co. And our email is team@filmchain.co, and it's usually the producers who contact us at first when let's say their finance is 80% in place. They already know their recruitment schedule, or they have some of their financiers and the rest of the stakeholders attached, and they need a digital collection agent to access their money and data.
Fantastic. So thank you so much, Anne-Sophie. Thank you, Weerada. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, everyone who tuned into the CPH conference today. My own personal suggestion for the end is that the great services what the companies of my wonderful conversants offer already today is not the future. It is the reality. Don't wait to be redistributed economy. Redistribute your films already today. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.